Hello you guys, welcome to a little evening vlog. I don't know if I've ever done a dedicated evening vlog. I'm very excited to spend the evening with you guys. I think it's gonna be a good one. I have a lot that I want to chit chat about and I'm excited to have you here. Chandler is traveling, so it's just you and I today. It's just you and I this evening. It's Monday, April 1st. So we got like a double reset situation, but I want to be clear that this video is not gonna be like a watch me be super productive and get my life together and like set all these goals. This is very much going to be a gentle, relaxing little evening. I don't know, I just want to spend time like reflecting on the last month, the last quarter, and go into this new season like more intentionally and slowly. If you've seen my last few videos, you know I've been going through it, okay? I've been going through it mentally. My anxiety has been just so high, I feel like, for the better part of this year. March and February for me were just months that I feel like I wasn't super like present. I feel like I was very like on edge, reactive to things that happened to me. I feel like I've spent like the last couple of months like wishing away days and wishing away weeks, like waiting for the weekend, and like I don't want to do that anymore. I just haven't been my best self. And so I think the first step is just like acknowledging that the last couple months that haven't been my best work. Okay, they have not been my best work, but I can, you know, go into this new quarter with new intentions, with, you know, a sense of gratitude and kind of make that mental shift. So that's what this video is going to be. Like I said, it's April 1st, it's a Monday. It's like the ultimate reset situation. My type A personality loves this shit. I typically would have like a workout class planned, but I really wanted to kind of practice what I'm preaching here and go into the month slowly and just like take this night in for myself. Like I said, it's just me, Chandler's gone. So I was like, what a perfect night to just like have a slow self-care evening, romanticize the silly little things that we should all be romanticizing every day, and just like have a little night with myself. I also just want to show like a different side of resetting. Like I'm sure you've probably seen a million productive resets, starting a new month, like goal setting for April, all of that. And that's great, but it's not for everyone all the time. And this month especially, I feel like if I would have like gone into April with that mindset, it would have just like contributed to my heightened anxiety, and I would have just kind of like kept on with that fight or flight mentality, like, okay, new month, like gotta get my shit together, here are my goals. Like it's just overall that energy just like is not what I needed. And so if you're feeling the same way and those like productive resets are overwhelming you, it's okay. It is okay if you are not setting a million goals April 1st, okay? Sometimes we have to kind of like be introspective, and the reset starts with like that mental shift. And so for me, that's what this reset's about. And I just wanted to say that because I myself have like, I scroll on YouTube, I love YouTube, I watch a ton of YouTubers, and I've watched those like productive resets, and I've kind of watched them being like, oh, I should probably like start thinking of like what all my goals are for this month, and like I'll get there, but right now in this moment I need to be here and I need to be present and I need to just have this little night for myself. This is definitely going to be a chatty one if you haven't already caught that, okay? One thing about me, I don't shut the fuck up. So we will be chatting a lot through the video. I probably will touch on some more of my intentions like later in the video. When we get there, I've been doing a lot of reading. We can do like maybe a little book, maybe like a quick book review, and then books that are kind of like on my radar to read in April. I don't know, it's just gonna be a fun one. I'm so excited to hang out with you guys and just have this slow little evening. We're gonna see where the night takes us. I know I said that this wasn't gonna be like a productive reset, but I do need to do some decluttering. Honestly, more just for like mental clarity, because when my physical space is like this, like I don't want to cook in this kitchen right now. This looks crazy to me, so I need to clean it. Also, like our table is messy, and then look at we're just showing you everything. So I do want to do like a quick little declutter of our downstairs, and we're gonna start on some dinner. My favorite thing to do when I have to clean is to pick a podcast and listen to that and try to get all my cleaning done before the podcast ends. So I think I'm gonna I've been loving this podcast. It's like true crime, but funny. So I think I'm gonna do this podcast, and I have 40 minutes left of this episode, so I'm gonna try to get everything done in 40 minutes.
Joey, guess who's back? For sure was out of town, and I wasn't really
Okay, can we just talk about how cute these cocktail glasses are from Amazon? Freaking cute. I did not need more glassware, but I don't know. I'm just like so into the vintage look lately. I want to like re-up all of our glassware. It is so bad. I need to like wait for our wedding. So I actually have things to put on our wedding registry, but I got impatient and ordered these. So we need to wash them real quick, and then I'm gonna put them in our little bar area. Never confident that soft-boiled eggs are gonna turn out, but we're giving them a go. I also find it so funny that every recipe tells you to put the eggs in an ice bath. Like, why is that so cute? So I just filled up a bowl with ice, and I'm gonna let them hang out in there for like, I don't know, 6 minutes or so. I'm like vaguely following a recipe, but honestly, we're just kind of winging it over here, okay? I'm making a mess. It's therapeutic. We're having a little therapeutic cooking sesh. It smells so good. Also, I feel like I can get like a little bit of a facial. It smells so good. I'm so bummed though because I don't have green onion, and I feel like green onion makes ramen. I tried to get green onion though. It's actually so embarrassing. I ordered groceries from Amazon Fresh, and I just fully thought that leeks were the exact same thing as green onions. And as it turns out, they are not the same. And so I ordered like so many leeks, like it was literally a bushel like this big, and I was like, why was a tree literally delivered to my house? And I realized that I ordered leeks instead of green onions. Anyway, so long story short, I don't have green onions. That's okay. I still feel like this is gonna be really good. I think the carrots will like do the trick for adding a nice little crunch. Now I'm just kind of waiting. This recipe, or like the recipe that I'm loosely following, calls for chicken, but I don't feel like doing protein tonight. Like I can't be bothered. So I'm just gonna do 2 eggs as my little protein source, and we're good to go. I used, these noodles are just the easiest thing to use because they cook so fast, and I like the little squiggly noodles, and then I just didn't do the little seasoning packet so that I can make my own little like seasoning and broth and all of that. The recipe also says that you need rice wine. I don't have that. So I think I'm gonna do like a tiny, oh my goodness, a tiny dash of apple cider vinegar. I don't know if that's the same thing, but we're just doing a little baby bit. Chandler would literally lose his shit if he was here right now because he is the type of person that like follows the recipe to a T. Like if he has a recipe and I change one thing, like if I don't measure out every single seasoning, he's like, what are you doing? Like you're gonna mess it up. And I am the type of person that's like, oh, let's do this, let's try this. And like half the time, I feel like I discovered greatness, and then half the time I ruin our dinner. Like there's really no in between. So I really hope this is the time where I hit the spot because I was really craving ramen. And it would make my night if this turned out well. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Please be cooked. Ooh, okay, it's a little overcooked. You know what, I will freaking take it. That's definitely like hard boiled, but whoa! Doing some more of the chili crunch. Okay, moment of truth. I feel like it needs a little bit more broth, but let's just see how the flavor is. I feel like the broth was super easy to make, and it just tastes like more fresh than if you use the like seasoning that comes with it. Also, you just like get fresher ingredients with like the fresh garlic and the ginger. Oh my god, this is so good. I think I'm gonna watch some Suits. Suits right now is like my comfort show. I'm obsessed with it. Also, I don't think I said this yet in the intro, but in the spirit of like going into this new month and like this new quarter more intentionally, I am severely reducing the amount of time I spend on Instagram. Instagram is by far, like scrolling Instagram Reels is by far where I spend all my time. Like I have a TikTok. I don't really ever get on TikTok. I don't really use Facebook. Instagram is where I have a scrolling problem. So I am like limiting myself to 20 minutes of Instagram a day. And normally I knock that out like during the work day as I'm like taking breaks and stuff. So I will not be on Instagram tonight or scrolling anything tonight. I still do like get on YouTube because honestly YouTube, I know YouTube is a social media platform, but I feel like it does like the opposite effect that Instagram does to me. Like I go to YouTube and it like relaxes me, calms me. I like put it on in the background while I'm doing other things. I feel like Instagram just like wastes my time most of the time, and I just like go down rabbit holes, and I just don't feel that way about YouTube. So Instagram, we're taking a break. I'm not like getting rid of Instagram completely, but I set a 20-minute cap on the app per day. Cheers to that, baby. All right, let's watch some Suits.
Previously on Suits.
I want to go to the gym.
You can't.
Then I get loaded.
Realize today you did this without asking. I've been waiting for you to also do something like this.
What a freaking night. When was the last time I've taken a bubble bath? I literally don't even remember. I'm not like a bath girl. Like, I probably won't take another bath for a while, but I feel like I almost needed to do that just for like the symbolism. It was so nice to just sit in there, not have any distractions. I didn't bring my phone. I didn't watch Netflix. I just had like a book that my brother got me when I was in high school, a Marilyn Monroe book. Just like sat there and was still and present, and it was nice. And that's like what I want to focus on in other areas of my life, trying to bring that same energy and that presence whenever life is happening and there's chaos surrounding me. And so, yeah, I feel like the bath was definitely metaphoric, but it was so, so lovely. Ramen was delicious. I've just had like the best evening. And these are all of the types of things, like the littlest things that I want to lean into again and look forward to during the work week. I asked in my last video, I was talking a little bit about the Sunday scaries, and I asked you guys, like, what is something you do to like fight the Sunday scaries? And a few of you said you plan something to look forward to like earlier in the week. So you plan like going to get a coffee on Monday, or you have like dinner with a friend Tuesday. Like, you have things to look forward to throughout the week. And so I really love that idea. And I don't know, like, I feel like I sometimes do that, but we definitely like sometimes get in a rhythm throughout the week and the days get monotonous. Like, we work, we go to the gym, we come back, we cook, we sleep. Like it gets really monotonous. And so like breaking up, you know, the week with like date nights, or like going to get coffee and like making that like every Wednesday I'm gonna go to the local bakery, get coffee, get a scone. Like, I just need to make it a priority to do that, because those little things are like what life is all about, you know? And I can like lose sight of that, I think, whenever I'm in my head and just like feeling overwhelmed. I know I'm chatting a lot. I told you guys it was gonna be a chatty one, but I really am having the best night. And actually, I'm like a person that looks for like little signs. And I went to go check my work email, and I know I shouldn't have done this. I'm really trying to not check my work email after hours. It is hard though when you see the notifications. So I went, I obviously got a notification. I like went to check my work email on my phone, and right under my like work email notification was like a YouTube comment notification. And it was on my last video, and it was somebody responding about things that they do when they are fighting the Sunday scaries. I just took that as a sign. Like, I could click on this work email. This work email could potentially like ruin my vibe, ruin my night, or I can like click on this lovely comment on YouTube that like brings me so much joy. And so I didn't check my email. I clicked on the YouTube comment. It made me so happy. I don't know if that seems silly, but like, I was really proud of myself, because in that moment, I just like chose me, and I chose to set a boundary, and I chose to like protect my peace. And I think that that is one thing that I have not been good about over the last few months. And I think that that's like leading to my feeling like I'm, you know, going a mile a minute and can't slow down. And it's like leading me directly to burnout. And so it's making the choice to set a boundary. You know, I'm not checking my email at 7 p.m. I am only doing things for me tonight. I'm only doing things that I know are gonna make me happy and like keep me in this mood, and like whatever it is can wait till tomorrow. And I'm proud of myself, because I am not somebody that sets good boundaries like that, especially like being remote. It's hard for me to shut off. And so yeah, that's another little thing that happened tonight I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, welcome to my bed. Let's talk about books. I'm like trying to set up a pillow for it so I can lean back. I'm gonna have to reposition you guys because that light's gonna bother me. I'm sorry if this light's distracting, but I don't know what else to do with you, okay? We're gonna talk about books for a second. I wanna talk about the 2 books I've read this year, give you like a little rating, a little review. I feel like I have to preface y'all, like, I am not this avid reader, okay? I've read 2 books this year, which is more books than I read all of last year, okay? So like, take my ratings with a grain of salt. I do watch some like book tubers or like people who do like read a ton and like do like full videos on book reviews, and their ratings are like so in depth. They do like a full freaking like plot analysis, character analysis. Listen, that's not what this is gonna be, okay? I'm basically going to give the book a rating based on like how engaged it kept me, if I like got value from it, and just like overall if I thought the message and like the plot was good. Also, I'm a thriller girl. Like most of these books, there's one romance in here. Most of these books are like very thriller, psychological thriller. Like that is my cup of tea. I love books like that. I love podcasts like that, movies like that. Like, I'm a thriller girl. So if you're not a thriller person, maybe this book section is not gonna be for you. But if you are, hang tight, girly, because I got some good stuff here. Okay, books I've read. I don't have it with me. I actually don't have any idea where this book is. I don't remember if I've loaned it to somebody. I read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, my very first Frida McFadden book, and I hear she's a good author. Let me tell you that book. Yo, I was locked in from page 1. I really was. I feel like the plot moved so quickly, which is what I want in a thriller. Like, I really do not like a thriller where it takes like 10 chapters to like get to the bulk of something happening. I'm not the type of person who wants a slow burn thriller. Like, I want the drama from the very beginning. I want the twist throughout, and I want like some crazy plot twist at the end. Like, that's kind of my cup of tea. Like, I want to be really engaged from the get-go, and that book is fast-paced. It is so on point from the beginning, I will say, and it keeps you guessing. You're like, okay, who's the antagonist here? Like, who really is the bad person? I feel like I was kind of like guessing and second guessing myself the whole way through, which is what I love in a thriller. So I would rate that book a 4.5. One thing I will say is that I do wish there was like a little bit more character development. Okay, look at me being like, I'm not gonna analyze these books, and then I'm out here like, maybe if she just added a little bit more character description. Like, but seriously, like, I feel like the main character, like, it was narrated by the main character, but we didn't learn a ton about her. We did learn a little bit about her background, but her background is like pretty crucial to the plot of the book, and we didn't like, I just feel like it didn't spend enough time like kind of, I don't know, shaping her and like getting, I didn't feel like I knew her as well as I wanted to. But that is like my one critique. It was honestly a really, really great thriller. Okay, second one I finished, and I finished this one in January, so I'm gonna try to like do my best to describe this one, but it's been a couple months. What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. I've never read anything by her, and I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure this is her first like non-YA book, which is interesting. I thought it was overall really good. There were definitely twists, do not get me wrong. Like, this is a cool book, very cool book, very like unique plot, but it did kind of like lag in areas for me. But I want to read the little dust cover because this plot is like nothing like I've ever heard before, and I do highly recommend this book if you're looking for something different and you feel like you're like in a rut reading the same type of thrillers over and over again. So okay, it says, Naomi Shaw used to believe in magic. 22 years ago, she and her 2 best friends spent the summer roaming the woods, imagining a world of ceremony and wonder. The goddess came. That sanctuary was suddenly shattered when Naomi was attacked. Miraculously, she survived her 17 stab wounds and lived to identify the man who hurt her. The girl's testimony put away a serial killer wanted for murdering 6 women. So they were heroes, but they were liars. For decades, the friends have kept a secret that might be worth killing for, hidden in the forest. But now Olivia wants to tell the whole story, and then she goes missing. So it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, there's a serial killer, you survive an attack, serial killer goes to prison, and then you go missing. So like, I just feel like there's a lot going on. Like, I was super intrigued by the plot, and it was an incredibly unique storytelling. The only thing is that it just lagged for me in some areas where there was like maybe too much description, I guess, in some parts that I didn't feel like were super necessary to have that much detail. I don't know if I gave a rating. I'm giving this a 3.5, but I do still highly recommend it. 3.5 is not a bad rating in my opinion. Nah. I'm 3.75. I'm like in between 3.5 and 4 for this one. Oh my god, I was like, this is gonna be such a quick little book section, and then I literally had to replace my battery because I've been talking for so long. Okay, 4 books that are on my radar. I'm gonna start with one that I'm already halfway through and one that I really loved, and I don't really know why I stopped reading. I started reading this like October of last year and just like haven't picked it up since because I kind of like got out of reading, but it's Too Late by Colleen Hoover. I feel like you like Colleen Hoover or you don't like Colleen Hoover. I like Colleen Hoover, but the first book I read from her was Verity, which is not necessarily reflective of her as an author. If you've read any of her other books, a lot of her books are like very, very sad romance novels. Like they are not necessarily thrillers. This, however, is a thriller, a psychological thriller. To give you a little one sentence synopsis, a psychological suspense a psychological suspense novel of obsession and dangerous love. So definitely trigger warning, as is with a lot of Colleen Hoover's books. There's a lot of abuse in this book, a lot of sexual abuse, emotional abuse, all of that. And so if that's not your cup of tea, I wouldn't recommend this, but it is a very good book so far, very fast paced. If you read Verity, it's along the similar lines. Like it's a page turner. It was really hard for me to put down. And the reason I stopped reading it had nothing to do with the book itself. I just kind of like fell out of my little reading grind. But I'm excited to get back into this one, and I feel like I will cruise through it pretty quick. After that, I am in between 2 books, and both of these books were recommended to me by Carter Sullivan, not to me personally, to her YouTube channel. So like 95,000 people, but like I'm gonna take it as a personal recommendation for me. Okay, these 2 books were recommended by her. First one is For the Last Time by Heidi Perks, and actually I went to look for this book at Half Price Bookstore, and I talked about this one in my last video. I didn't find it at the bookstore, but my mom watched that video and she mailed it to me through Amazon, which was so nice. So I'm excited to dive into this one. I think this is like a dual perspective. Yeah, it's dual perspective, which I love. I love multiple POVs in books. I know I'm gonna love this one. From what I gathered, it's about a couple that goes in for marriage counseling, and the counselor like learns something about the couple as they're coming to her sessions. So then she kind of like uses those sessions to dig in and learn some stuff about the couple that will like benefit her. Like she has an ulterior motive going into it. So I think it's gonna be interesting. This dual perspective psychological thriller will keep readers turning pages until every last secret comes to light. Boom! Sounds so good. And then A Flicker in the Dark is the second one. This one takes place in Louisiana. There's a story about like 6 missing girls that went missing, and apparently the psychologist's dad is the one that went to jail for the murders of those little girls. And then it jumps to 20 years later and little girls are starting to go missing again. So that's kind of what the back says. I'm not spoiling anything. This is more of like a whodunit situation, which I love. Honestly, both of these, with like one being a counselor, one being a psychologist, it's kind of giving me like Silent Patient vibes a little bit. If you've read The Silent Patient, I feel like that's like one of the most popular thrillers. I kind of have an unpopular opinion about that one. I did read it. The ending was fabulous. The ending was fabulous. Up until the ending though, I didn't really love it. Like it didn't do a lot for me. Like it wasn't my favorite, but I feel like a lot of people really love that book. Last book, we're gonna get away from like the murders and the serial killers and all of that. We have a little romance novel. Okay, I feel like this will be good for my soul. We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han, which is the book that the Prime series To All the Boys I've Loved Before is based on. I threw this in my list because I know after reading a lot of this dark stuff, I'm gonna want a change of pace. Also, we're going to Cancun at the end of April, and I feel like this will be like a perfect little beachy read. So this is kind of like my palette cleanser, take a break from thriller book. I hope that was interesting to you. Maybe you got some new book ideas. If you are currently reading, even if it's not a thriller, tell me what you're reading in the comments. Like, what books should I add to this list? I feel like I'm accumulating books quicker than I can read them, but I am hoping that with my Instagram limit, I will just knock out a lot more books. We're wrapping up the night. I can't believe our little self-care night is almost over. I can like already feel my energy shift just like talking to the camera, and I just like feel so much lighter already. And I know that that seems so silly after one day, but there is something just like so hopeful about a new month, and like intentionally going into a new month with such a drastic change in my mindset. If you're watching this and it's not the beginning of a month or it's not the beginning of a week, like you don't have to wait for it to be the beginning of the next month to like have these nights or days or weeks where you pause, take a step back, and like reset your intentions. Like don't wait, because I feel like I waited too long to get here. Like I was kind of already reaching the point of burnout, and like I just feel like I don't want to say I wasted so many weeks, but like looking back, like the last couple of months just kind of feel like a blur, which is a little bit of a bummer because we did some really fun stuff. We did like wedding tastings, and I remember being at the tastings thinking like, oh gosh, like I have to do this for work, and I have all these things that I still have to do, and like I just look back and I like almost want to cringe, and I don't know. I wish that I would have had this little come to Jesus moment a lot earlier than April 1st, but here we are. So much of what I've spent time worrying about is just like not what life is about. And so I'm really hopeful for the next month and just like going into this next season with more gratitude, with more boundaries to protect my peace and like prioritize like what actually matters to me, which is Chandler and my family and friends. And I don't want to rush through like special moments with them and days with them thinking about all that I have to do or all that I'm stressed about at work or with XYZ. Like that is not how I want to live anymore. I'm excited for this new season. I have a couple quotes that I am going to look back on when I feel like I'm falling back into the pattern of like, okay, what's the next thing? Like, let's keep it going, and like not being present. Most humans are never fully present in the now because unconsciously they believe that the next moment must be more important than this one. But then you miss your whole life, which is never not now. Why does that make me want to cry? Like it literally, like time passing by and knowing that I've like spent time like wishing days and weeks away, like makes me so sad because like, oh my God, am I literally gonna cry right now? Am I okay? Like time is like the most precious thing we have. And so time is literally the most precious thing we have. And I just like want to start being grateful for it. I'm sorry if that sounds cheesy, but that is so true. And I need to start living my life with that mindset. Another little saying that I found that I love: slow down and enjoy life. It's not only the scenery you miss by going too fast, but you also miss the sense of where you're going and why you're even going there. Like literally, exactly. Like that is what I'm saying. It's like we get on autopilot in life and just like keep going in certain directions because that's like what we've historically done or what we're used to or what feels comfortable. And I feel like that is exactly why it feels like life flies by sometimes, because we're not like consciously making decisions to like question why we're continuing to do what we've always done. I don't know. I'm like going off on a tangent here, but I love that quote. It's just like basically reminding me to be more present and not just like accept the future or like accept a path because I've always been on the path. Like I want to like take ownership and take stock of like, okay, like yeah, I've worked in this job for 3 years. Does that mean I have to work there for the next 3? No, I can literally pivot at any time. Is going in that direction going to make me happy, or could something else make me happier? It's just like being able to stop and assess your situation almost like from a bird's eye view versus like being so caught up in it. Because when you're so like caught up in the day-to-day, it's really hard to like think clearly and think about other options. I'm obviously not perfect. I have anxiety. Like my anxiety is not going to go anywhere. I'm still going to get caught up in day-to-day things. I'm not going to like, always be on like this Buddha level, like be peaceful and like that's not what I'm saying, and I'm not claiming that I'm gonna be like that. But I do think that I do think that setting intentions and like having little things like those little sayings and like falling back on certain habits like can help whenever life does get in the way and like work is chaotic and wedding planning is chaotic. Like these things are gonna be chaos. It's just about my mindset when that chaos kind of occurs. This has been the most chatty video ever. I don't even know how many hours of footage I have that I'm gonna have to edit through. If you made it this far, you can probably relate to some of what I was talking about, and so I just want you to know that I am rooting for you and we are in this together. I say this all the time, but it means so much to me that you have hung out with me for this long, and I'd love to get to know you in the comments or over on Instagram. But I'm gonna wrap this one up, and I will see you guys in the next video.